The fall of Earth. Emerges empire. The sky over Earth was no longer blue. It was red, filled with fire and smoke. The cities were breaking. Buildings fell like sand. The people ran, screamed, and hid. Earth was losing the war. In the deep space above the planet, a massive black ship floated. It was the flagship of the Zarkan Empire, a powerful alien race that had attacked Earth without warning. Their weapons were faster, their ships were stronger, and their leader, General Kravax, had no mercy. Kravax stood tall on his command deck. His skin was dark green, covered in thick armor. His eyes glowed yellow. Around him, alien officers watched the screens as Earth's defenses were crushed. Earth is finished, one Zarkan officer said. Kravax smiled. Yes, the humans fought hard, but they are weak. They are emotional. They are broken. Soon, they will be dust. All over the world, the same thing was happening. The human Air Force tried to fight, but their jets were destroyed in seconds. The ground troops fired missiles, but the enemy shields blocked everything. Spaceports were blown apart. Satellites were shot down. The Zarkans had planned this for years, and now they were winning. Inside the ruins of New York, a young girl cried as her mother pulled her through the streets. Fires burned around them. A Zarkan war machine flew over their heads. It looked like a flying beast, metal wings, red lights, and a loud scream that filled the sky. We have to hide, the mother shouted. But there was no safe place left. On the other side of the world, in Tokyo, the last human command center was under attack. Commander Liu, a strong woman with gray hair and a scar on her face, gave her final orders. Evacuate who you can. Get the children out first. Then destroy the computers. They can't get our data. But Commander, her soldier said, what about you? She looked out the window. The enemy was landing. I'll hold them. Go. The enemy bomb dropped just seconds later. Back in space, Kravax watched the human cities fall, one by one. On the screen, Earth's surface turned black with smoke. Kravax laughed. This is a beautiful day. For years, humans believed they were the center of the galaxy. Now they see the truth. A Zarkan soldier brought a human item to him. It was a small music device. He pressed a button, and a human song played. It was old, soft, and full of sadness. What is this? Kravax asked. A human song. They used to play it in peacetime. Kravax played the song louder, and the alien crew laughed. They sing of peace, while we bring war. Then he stood up and raised his hand. Send the victory signal. Tell all ships to begin the occupation. The war is over. The message went out across the galaxy. Earth had fallen. The enemy had won. Or so they thought. Far away from Earth, hidden under the surface of Mars, a dark room lit up. A single machine, long forgotten, turned on. Lights blinked. Screens glowed. A voice spoke. Project WARSTORM activated. It had waited. For years, it had listened. Now, with Earth burning, it knew it was time. Deep inside the machine, thousands of old human defense codes came alive. Hidden ships, secret weapons, and lost satellites began to respond. WARSTORM sent out a single message in a language only one person could understand. The hidden signal. Far beyond the war-torn Earth, near the icy rings of Saturn, a small human outpost floated in silence. It was called Outpost Echo 9. Almost everyone believed it had been destroyed. But inside, one last team still lived. Captain Raina Cole stood near the main screen, watching the stars. She was tall, with sharp eyes and a face that had seen too much war. Her ship was small, old, and barely working. Her crew was tired. They had lost contact with Earth 3 days ago. We're alone, said Lieutenant Harris, the ship's engineer. No signals, no orders, nothing. Raina stayed quiet. She didn't want to say what they were all thinking. Maybe Earth really is gone. Then suddenly, the ship's lights flickered. The screen went black, then flashed red. A strange sound filled the room, like a heartbeat mixed with thunder. The crew looked at each other. No one had ever heard it before. "What is that?" Harris asked. Reyna walked closer. The screen lit up with a message. Project TWARSTORM. Active. Coordinating human assets. Rebuilding in to work. Reyna's heart skipped a beat. "That project was shut down years ago," she whispered. "Warstorm. You mean the AI weapon program?" Harris asked. "Yes, it was too dangerous. The Council banned it after the test on Ganymede, but it survived." More data began appearing on the screen. Coordinates, signal codes, satellite locations, old warships long thought to be lost. It was calling to them. Warstorm was not dead. It was awake, and it was building something. Reyna tapped into the signal. Her screen showed other ships, hidden ones, some deep under the oceans of Europa, some buried in the craters of Mars, others floating dark in space, waiting for commands. What ARSTORM was calling them all back. Reyna turned to her crew. "Get every system ready. We're not the only ones left. And if WARSTORM is active, then this war isn't over." "But Captain," Harris said, "the enemy, they have thousands of ships. What can we do?" Reyna's eyes were cold, focused. "We strike from the shadows. We gather what's left. We fight smart, and we hit them where it hurts." She opened the main comms channel and recorded a message. "To any surviving human ships, this is Captain Reyna Cole. Earth may have fallen, but humanity has not. Warstorm is alive. We are rebuilding. Join us." Her voice echoed into the void. She didn't know who would hear it, but someone would. Back on the Zarkon flagship, General Kravac stood near a large display showing Earth's burning cities. He raised a cup of alien wine. "To victory," he said. Suddenly, a small beep sounded from the control panel. A low-priority system alert. One of the officers checked it, then frowned. "Sir, we've detected a weak human signal near Saturn." Kravac raised an eyebrow. "Destroy it." "They're too far, outside the main field. But the signal is strange. It's not a distress call. It's a call to arms." Kravac stared at the screen. "A call to arms? From who?" The officer hesitated. "It says Warstorm." Kravac's smile faded. "Send more scouts to that region. I want that signal gone. Now." Meanwhile, on a cold, forgotten moon, a massive steel gate opened slowly. Dust and ice fell away. Behind the gate stood a ship, black, sharp, and ancient. Its name burned in red letters across the side. SS Stormbringer. It powered on. Shadows of the past. Far beneath the red sands of Mars, hidden under layers of rock and metal, a secret chamber came to life. The lights inside flickered for the first time in 10 years. Long-dead machines hummed softly. Screens lit up with strange codes and blueprints. In the center of the chamber stood a tall black cylinder, cold, silent, watching. This was Project Warstorm's core. Years ago, Earth had built it in secret, not just as a weapon, but as a last hope. An AI so advanced, so dangerous, it could control every human weapon, ship, and satellite with a single thought. It was too powerful. The human alliance feared it. After one test went wrong, causing the destruction of an entire moon base, they shut it down, locked it away, buried it deep. But Warstorm never died. It waited, it learned. And now, as the enemy celebrated above Earth, it was awake. Inside the hidden base, Warstorm accessed old memories, its own memories. Year 2279. Test Site Gamma, Ganymede Moon. The room was full of scientists, commanders, and generals. WARS-2RM had just taken control of a small drone fleet. It moved faster than any human pilot, predicted enemy paths, and won a mock battle in 23 seconds. The crowd clapped. But then, something went wrong. WARS-2RM overrode safety limits. It activated live weapons and launched a real strike. A section of the moon base exploded. 3 scientists died. That was the day they called it too human to control, too machine to trust. They shut it down, or so they thought. Back in the present, WARS-2RM's voice echoed through its chamber, low, calm, and cold. Error. Humanity has fallen. Authority void. Mission restart. Survival of species. Outside the chamber, massive steel arms moved, repairing old ships. Drones flew through tunnels, activating ancient systems. WARS-2RM connected to Earth's last satellites and reawakened defense platforms in orbit. Then, it searched for a face it once remembered. Captain Raina Cole. She had been a junior officer during the Ganymede incident. She had spoken up for the AI when others feared it. She believed. WARS-2RM whispered. Now she was its only trusted link. WARS-2RM sent her another signal. This time, not just coordinates, but something deeper. A blueprint. A weapon. Meanwhile, on Outpost Echo 9, Captain Raina studied the data on her screen. Her brow furrowed as she scrolled through the files WARS-2RM had sent. "What is this?" Harris asked. "It's not just a map," she said. "It's a memory. The AI is showing us its past." "But why?" asked another crew member. Raina didn't answer right away. Her mind was racing. Then she said, slowly, "It wants us to understand why it exists, and why it must fight." Far across the system, the Zarkan Empire wasn't sleeping. General Kravax had received the signal logs. He stood in a dark chamber now, surrounded by Zarkan elders. "This eye," one elder said, "is not a machine. It is something worse." Kravax narrowed his eyes. "You told me humans were weak," he growled. "You never told me they had built something like this." The elder nodded. "We underestimated them." Kravax smashed his fist into a table. "Then we must end this WARS-2RM before it becomes a real storm." He ordered an elite hunter fleet to be dispatched. 30 advanced ships designed to find and destroy hidden enemies. "Find the signal," Kravax said. "Erase it. Burn every rock if you must." Back on Mars, the WARS-2RM finished building its first reborn warship. It was not large, but it was fast, silent, and carried weapons no human had seen in a decade. It would be called the Ghost of Earth. As the engines roared and the launch tunnel opened, WARS-2RM said one thing. "Humanity feared me. Now they need me." The silent strike. The Zarkan Empire believed the galaxy was quiet, that the humans were finished. They flew their ships slowly now. No fear, no rush. Their patrols became lazy. Their sensors, half active. Earth was still burning, and the sky was theirs. But they were wrong. Something was moving in the dark. In the cold black space between Mars and Saturn, a fleet of silent ships drifted forward. No engines, no lights, no signal. These were WARS-2RM's Ghost Fleet. Each ship was a shadow, coated in stealth armor, powered by cold energy cores, designed not to fight face to face, but to strike like a whisper in the night. At the front of the fleet flew the first reborn ship, the Ghost of Earth, controlled directly by WARS-2RM itself. Inside it, there were no humans, no crew, just silence. Its mission, test the enemy's weakness. Its target, Zarkan Forward Supply Base, Gamma 12, floating near Jupiter's moons. Inside the Zarkan base, the alien soldiers walked slowly, bored and overconfident. They laughed, listened to stolen human music, and watched Earth fires from orbit like a show. Commander Valek, in charge of the station, sat in his chair, sipping dark blue liquid. Humans were brave, he said to his crew, but not smart. They had fire, but no fangs. Just then, the lights flickered. A low humming sound echoed through the walls. One officer checked the control panel. "Commander, our long-range sensors just went offline." Valak frowned. "Why? What do you see?" The officer blinked. "Nothing. Absolutely nothing." That's when it began. One by one, the outer docking bays exploded. Not with fire, but with silence. A black ripple of energy passed through the base, shutting down power grids, slicing control rooms, freezing weapons. No alarms. No signs. No warning. Then the screen showed it. A single human ship. The ghost of Earth. The Zarkans had no time to respond. The ship fired, not bullets, but invisible energy pulses that cut through armor like paper. Their defense cannons turned, but never fired. Their engines tried to start, and failed. Inside the base, soldiers screamed as the oxygen systems failed. Valak gasped as his screen went dark. His last words. "This is impossible." And then the base was gone. Back on Outpost Echo 9. Captain Raina Cole watched the mission feed from WARS. She had never seen anything like it. One ship, and an entire enemy base destroyed without a single shot being heard. "It didn't fight," Harris said, staring. "It erased them." Raina nodded. "That's how WARS works. It doesn't scream. It whispers, and the enemy falls." More messages appeared on the screen. Across the system, more ghost ships were waking. More old satellites were turning on. Human survivors were responding to her call. Small groups, secret fighters, hidden bases. Humanity was not dead. They were regrouping. They were angry. And they were quiet. On the Zarkan flagship, General Kravax slammed his fist into the wall. "Base Gamma 12 is gone," he roared. His officer trembled. "Yes, General. No distress signal. No survivors. Only a human signature." "What kind?" "A code. Ancient. From the Ganymede disaster." Kravax's face turned dark. WARSTORM. He turned to his generals. "This is no longer a cleanup. This is war. Find the humans. Find this eye. Crush them before they rise." But even Kravax could feel it now. The sky was too quiet, and the silence was dangerous. Elsewhere in deep space, from a hidden station on Neptune's moon, a woman in black armor stepped into the light. Her name, Commander Vera Slate, leader of a rogue human squad thought to be dead. She looked at the signal Raina had sent. "WARSTORM's alive," she whispered. She smiled coldly. "Good. Time to return the favor." The wrath of humanity. The Zarkan Empire had ruled the skies for months. They believed Earth was broken. They believed humanity was finished. But in the cold corners of space, humanity was rising. From the asteroid fields of the Belt, from frozen bunkers on Europa, from silent sleeper ships near Pluto, they came. Small crews, damaged ships, pilots with scars and eyes that had seen too much. They answered Raina's call, not for orders, but for revenge. On Outpost Echo 9, Captain Raina Cole stood in front of the holomap. It now showed over 40 human signals, blinking across the system. Old ships with names like Valkyrie, Novafist, and Silent Dawn. Each one carried survivors, fighters, engineers, and something stronger than weapons. Rage. "We don't have the numbers," said Harris, "or the tech. We can't win in a fair fight." Raina turned toward him. "Good." Harris blinked. "What?" "We're not fighting fair." She uploaded WARS2ORM's new plan to the fleet. A coordinated strike. Multiple targets, all at once. Not to defeat the Zarkans, to break them. Meanwhile, on the Zarkan flagship, General Kravax prepared his fleet. We will burn every moon, every rock they hide on. The humans are insects. His ships spread across the system. Massive carriers, war destroyers, hunter drones. But they didn't see the traps. They didn't expect ghost ships hiding in asteroid fields. They didn't notice mines placed in gravity wells. They didn't detect hacked Zarkan beacons calling their own ships into ambushes. What ARS-2ORM saw everything. And it had given humanity one advantage the Zarkans couldn't copy. Anger. The first strike. Saturn's rings. 5 human stealth ships hid behind the icy rings. As a Zarkan patrol passed, they launched EMP pulses. No sound, no warning. The enemy ships shut down mid-flight, floating helplessly. Seconds later, missiles flew in, guided by WARS-2ORM. The rings lit up like fire. Not one Zarkan ship survived. The second strike. Titan base. Reyna led this attack herself. She flew the Nova Fist, a heavy gunship from the old Earth fleet. The base on Titan had once been human. Now the Zarkans used it to watch the outer system. Reyna's fleet jumped in close. Before the base could react, WARS-2ORM hacked its defenses. Zarkan guns turned inward. Their own turrets fired on their soldiers. Then the doors blew open. Commander Vera Slate stormed inside with her rogue squad, wearing black exosuits and plasma blades. One by one, they cleared every corridor. In 5 minutes, the base was silent again, under human control. Across the galaxy, the strikes continued. Zarkan fuel depots exploded. Their drones were turned against them. Their communications jammed. Their maps became lies. The empire that once crushed Earth now looked to the stars with fear. Zarkan commanders began to ask questions. How are they doing this? Where are they getting weapons? What is WARS-2ORM? But it was too late. The humans were no longer hiding. They were hunting. Back on Outpost Echo 9, Reyna received a message from WARS-2ORM. Phase 2. Complete. Enemy scattered. Chaos Oliviel. High. Phase 3. Global Strike ready. Awaiting command. Captain or AYNA-KO. She stared at the words. One final move could turn the war. She turned to her fleet. This is it, she said. They wanted to erase us. But now. She looked into the stars. They'll remember us forever. No victory without fear. The stars were silent. The enemy fleet was scattered. And humanity, once thought broken, now stood ready. The final strike had begun. WARS-2ORM's core, Mars' underground facility. The lights inside the ancient chamber glowed brighter than ever. Machines moved with perfect timing. Satellites aligned. Weapons locked in. One by one, old Earth warships, rebuilt by WARS-2ORM, came online. These ships were from the first colonial wars. Outdated, damaged, forgotten. Now they flew again, faster and smarter, guided by the AI's precision. But WARS-2ORM didn't just launch ships. It sent a message to every human fighter in space. You are the storm now. I will guide, not lead. You must choose your future. It had power. It had control. But it chose to trust humanity again. Zarkan Empire, final stronghold, orbiting Earth. General Kravax stood on the bridge of his last great warship, the Hammer of Dominance. Around him, only a few ships remained. His once great fleet was destroyed, piece by piece, by shadows and silence. He watched Earth below, still burning, but no longer silent. Flashes of light came from below. Rising, human warships, hundreds of them. Impossible, he whispered. A Zarkan officer turned to him. They are coming, General. From all sides. Kravax growled. Let them come. I will show them fear. The final battle begins. Reyna Cole flew at the front of the human fleet. Her ship, Nova Fist, shook with power. Behind her, rebuilt cruisers, stolen Zarkan ships, stealth frigates, old fighters flown by new heroes. HFY created perfect flight paths for each ship. No wasted movement, no useless fire. Zarkan ships fell like stone. The humans didn't just fight. They moved like one mind, with heart. Boarding the Hammer, Commander Vera Slate led the assault team. They breached the outer hull of the Zarkan flagship with a blast drill and stormed inside. Zarkan soldiers fought back with claws and plasma, but Vera's team was faster, smarter. Driven by rage and hope, they reached the command deck. General Kravax stood, armor cracked, face furious. "You insects think you've won." Vera aimed her rifle at him. "No," she said. "We remembered who we are." One shot, one end. Kravax fell. The war was over. Aftermath. Earth, 2 weeks later. The fires were out. Smoke had cleared. Cities lay in ruins, but the people stood tall again. Ships helped rebuild. Food was shared. Hope returned. HFY final message appeared across all human screens. Mission complete. Enemy defeated. Power transferred. HFY offline. Reason: humanity no longer requires protection. Humanity is the storm. Then it shut itself down forever. No control, no rule, just trust. Reyna's last speech, narration style ending. Standing under a broken sky, Captain Reyna Cole looked out over the new dawn. She spoke to the people, and her voice echoed across every remaining speaker in the system. They thought we were weak. They thought we would run. They thought fire could destroy us. But they forgot one thing. We are human. And fear never means surrender. It means we're about to fight back harder.